Well, there's especially two things that I bring home from this conference. One thing is, well, actually three things. One thing is that we are very different in many, many ways, but we're addressing the same issues in very, very different ways. So it's basically, I've learned a lot about, that our way of doing it is not necessarily the only one. And I hope that by speaking to colleagues here that you've had a similar experience. The other thing I really take away is what we see here. It's a really, really impressive graphic environment that you created for this event. It's beautiful, it's classic, it's everything you could think of. It's really amazing. The third thing I've taken away is all the projects I've heard about today. I've heard some in the room in there, and I also had the opportunity to listen to some of the silent presentations in the lunch break, and that was really, really interesting. Quite different from anything we do, but again addressing the same issues. So that's what I take away from here. Well, I don't want, well, if I'm to say how I think we could increase cooperation, both in the Mediterranean and across Europe, well, my problem is I'm not the one to judge how things should be done in the Mediterranean area. I think we are doing quite similar things, but maybe in terms of involving the other stakeholders in the area. We have a situation in the North Sea area where we have a lot of actors that needs to be brought together in order to coordinate and, for example, avoid negative overlap. I can see you have a very similar thing here, but I also see that there's some really important steps already being taken. And what I've heard today is an enormous willingness amongst the stakeholders to actually cooperate, and much more than I thought before I came here. In terms of the Trans-European network, I think we've already taken some important steps. 5 years ago, I would never have been invited down here. Never. It wouldn't have happened, because I wouldn't know Curcio. I wouldn't know any of the others down here. I would know the people I already knew up in the northern part of Europe. So the cooperation we've had, the meetings we're having with all the transnational programs have really made a big push forward in increasing the cooperation. And I think we should go even further from here. I think there's an ample opportunity for increasing the cooperation between the Northern European programs and the Southern European programs. There are of course some constraints imposed on us by the program rules and so forth. But I think where we can really cooperate is by exchanging experience, by helping maybe each other in on specific issues, and vice versa. And I think that could be really interesting, and I see great potential for that.